We're going to go ahead and look at dividing rational numbers. So we're going to start out a situation where we have a paver that's hired to pave a 6-mile road. And the paver can only pave 2 miles a day. So how many days does it take the paver to pave the whole road? So basically we're looking at from a math perspective, and sorry about my computer spazzing out there. We are taking 6 and we're dividing it by 2. So here we have one unit being the red square. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have our length of our road here. And the paver can do 2 miles a day. So here's 2 miles. So the blue represents 1 day. Here's 2 more miles. The purple represents a second day. 2 more miles. The green represents a third day. And now we get the total length of the 6-mile road. And you can see we have 3 different colors for the 3 days, so we get 3 days. So in other words, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Same situation, however, the paver can now do 3 miles a day. So how would that look? So when we're doing that, we're still going to use 1 unit. We still have our 6-mile road here. 1 day is 3 miles. Second day is another 3 miles, giving us a total length of 12 or 6. So, oops, that's a typo there. Sorry about that. So we get green and blue, so that we get a total of 2 days. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So how does that work if we start including fractions? So consider this situation. Still the 6-mile road, but the paver can only do a half mile a day. So what we're going to do here to figure out how long it's going to take is we're going to let 1 square represent a half. So that means to be able to get 6 miles, we need a half here and a half here. So that's 1 mile, a half and a half, that's a second mile, and so on. So in other words, we have 12 of these half units give us our 6-mile road. So we have 1 day. Here in blue is a half. 1 day in this kind of brownish is a half. So it takes 2 days to do 1 mile. Then we have 2 more colors here to do a second mile. 2 more colors to do the third mile. And then continuing on. And so you can see it takes a total of 12 days to cover our 6 miles. So 6 divided by 1/2 is 12. So suppose we had a 2/3 length mile and the paver could do a half a mile per day. How long does it take the paver to pave the whole road? Well, first of all, we need to figure out a common unit that we're going to be dealing with. So what I did is I started out with 3 here because we're dealing with thirds, and we started out with 2 because we're dealing with halves. So the 2 is shorter than the 3, so I'm going to just add another 2 onto that. And then you'll notice the 3 is shorter than the one on the right, so I'm going to have to add 3 onto that. So I have 6 here, I have 4 here, the one on the right with 4 is shorter again, so I'm going to have to add 2 to it again. And you'll notice then we get the same length, so we end up getting 6 on this side, 6 on this side, so our common unit is going to be 1/6, because we could represent our 2/3 and our 1/2 in terms of 6. And we can get that by basically just stacking the cubes till we get the same height. Same situation, now that we have our common unit, each red square is going to represent 1/6 of a unit. So now we're going to take our 2/3 divided by half, and 2/3 when you think of 6 ends up being 4/6. 1/2 when you think of 6 is 3/6. So that's really what we're trying to accomplish, and we're doing it with these blocks. So we have 4 of the 6's going across here, That's our road. And then we're dividing it by 1/2, which is 3 of the 6. So the first day we can do 3 of those 6 pieces. So you'll notice that's not enough to get the whole red road, so we actually have to come back for a second day. But you'll see we don't have to do the full second day to get all the way to the end of the red. We really only need to do one of the 3 parts of that second day. So it's really 1 day and 1/3. So when we divide 2/3 by 1/2, we get 1 and 1/3. Or if you count up how many thirds, 1, 2, 3, 4, we get 4/3. Same idea here. 3/4 of a mile road divided by 2/3 of a mile per day, and how many days does it take? Well, once again, the first thing you have to do is find that common unit. So all I did was just start stacking blocks. So the 3 is shorter than the 4, so I'm going to stack another 3. But you'll see the 4 is now shorter than the one on the right, so I got to stack that. Now the one on the right is shorter, so I got to stack that. The one on the left is shorter, so I got to stack another 4 there. And so you can use the stacking of blocks to continue on to be able to figure out your common unit. And you'll see here, when we get up to 12 on each side, they're both equal, so our common unit is going to be 1/12. So you can use that approach to find your common unit. So we have our 3/4 mile road, and we're dividing it by 2/3 of a mile per day. How long is it going to take? So once again, for clarification, each red is going to be 1/12. So 3/4 when you're looking at 12 is 9/12. So we got to put down 9 of these little red blocks to get our 3/4 of a road. 2/3 of a day is 8/12. So we need to go 8 of these blocks before we get one full day. And when you do that, you'll notice that the blue does not cover all the red. So we actually have to come back for a second day. The second day is another 8. But you notice we don't need to use that full 8 of the second day to be able to get to the end of the red. We only needed to use one of those 8 parts of that second day. So it's really ending up being the blue, which is 1 day, plus one of the 8 of our second day. So it's 1 and 1/8 when we divide these two fractions. Or if you count the individual boxes, it's 9 of those little 8 pieces. Now, just for clarification, try to do this one here on your own, and then watch the video, see if you get the same answer. Our common unit's going to be 15. 1/3 is 5/15, so I'm going to put down 5 for my road. And then we have 6/15. So we have 6 of the blue for 1 day. You'll notice we did not need to use all of those 6 pieces. We only needed to use 5 of those 6 pieces to be able to get to the end of our road. So it's really 5 out of those 6 pieces. So when we take 1/3 divided by 2/5, we get 5/6. Try to also do this one here. We get a common unit of 1/14. 1/2 is 7 of those 14ths. 3/7 is 6 of those 14ths. 6/14 takes us to here, which is not quite enough, so we add on a second day. We don't need all of that second day. We only need one of those 6 pieces of that second day, so we get 1 day in the green and not 1 day in the green, 1 day in the blue, and one of the 6 pieces of the green. So we get 1 and 1/6, or if you count the individual pieces here, you get a total of 7 of those 6 pieces.